Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Blackridge Asset Management is a separate and independent entity from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. And now, Today with Denny, here's Denny Artache.
Good morning. Welcome to the Denny Artache Show, formerly known as Denny and the Broad with Marla Brodsky, my sidekick in humor.
Good morning.
My great producer, Evan Nine, the guy who never sleeps.
Top of the morning to you.
And we have a great special friend and guest, Ron Hart in the back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, yo, yo.
And have you hugged your Krispy Kreme donut today, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're passing them out on the radio show here.
That's right. A special treat.
Man, what do they do? They sprinkle crack on them? Is that why it's so good?
I am pretty sure that is what it is. You know what's funny?
Is, right?
It's funny that you say that because I used to feel that way about Pinkberry. Do you remember the Pinkberry craze where people would wait in line for hours? This is at least in California.
Oh.
People would wait in line for hours to go to Pinkberry. It's like frozen yogurt. And I was like, what is it? Frozen cocaine? I don't understand. Why are you waiting in line for frozen yogurt? Same thing for Krispy Kreme.
Speaking of California, you just got back from your quick trip.
I did.
So we're going to talk about that because I want to hear about the lunacy of California these days.
It was crazy. I had such a crazy experience the minute I landed. Please, I can't even.
Okay.
I need to vent.
All right. Ron wants to hear about your dating life, but
That's what I was going to say. Exactly.
That's where you want to start off, right, Ron?
Exactly. If it always ends up that way, we might as well start that way.
I'm pretty sure the new title of the show is Denny and Marla's dating life. The show always either ends.
That's not as
always
catchy.
ends with Marla's dating life.
That's not as catchy as the Broad.
True.
You know?
I like the Broad.
Marla Brodsky.
I'd like to get something straight right off the bat.
Yes.
I am not going to date Denny Artache.
Oh, I thought you were not going to date Marla Brodsky.
I really appreciate
You're
that,
still
Ron.
on the list.
I'm
But,
on the list.
Denny's out.
Ron, if you were going to take me out, I'd just like to know where you would take me.
To the ball game.
You mean one that Evan is announcing? Because he's the Mets announcer, you know. He does. That's what he does.
Now batting number 73, the pitcher, Denny Artache.
Man.
Oh, that's good. You have a good ball game announcer voice, Evan.
He's been doing this for a while. So
wow. I like it.
So you know what? Ron, he doesn't like to take credit, but folks, Ron Hart does a lot for music in Stuart, Florida. And there's a big show planned tomorrow. There'll be a couple of national acts. I bribed him to have me play with my band, and we're going to do some originals. So I don't know, maybe
I think that's a good idea, by the way.
I tried to tell them, guys, there's only so many Leonard Skinner songs that we should play to an appreciative crowd.
There's also a limited amount of venues in this town. As good as this town is for live music, there's a limited number of venues that truly appreciate live original music.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, we're raising money for the Rock River Walk. So it's
Rockin' Riverwalk.
Rockin' Riverwalk, which is a great cause. I mean, how long has that been going on now, Ron?
Rockin' Riverwalk's been around for, I believe, 9 years. I think we're almost through with our 9th year of free concerts every single Sunday.
It's amazing.
From 1 to 4.
I have to say that's one of the reasons that I love staying here because I go back and forth between here and California is the music scene and Sundays. I hate missing a Sunday because I love Rockin' Riverwalk. Seriously. And I'm so excited that there's a special Rockin' Riverwalk tomorrow night. Rain or shine, people. I heard this live. Rain or shine.
You can't mention the R word.
That's right. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it rains.
It's like seeing the bride before the wedding, right?
Everybody does.
Ron, you wanna talk about that? No.
I don't. Very well. I don't talk rain until a couple hours before showtime.
So if it is rained out, I don't know. Do we have a party at your house? Do we bring the music?
So you still want to talk about rain? I say.
No.
I say we just play. We just hint it. Why not?
Marla brought it up, so I don't know.
I guess I was kidding around with you before the show went on, but I suppose if it was a real washout, we would reschedule the show, to be honest.
Well, I got so excited thinking we would dance in the rain.
Well, we would do. I mean, I'm talking about a real washout.
Well, I played with my Santana tribute, and it kind of rained, and we waited.
It was the 4th of July, right?
The 4th of July, yes. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it stops, we took off the tarp, and we got a great set out of it. So, You know how Florida is. It could be raining on one side of the street and dry in the other.
You know how meteorologists are, right? They have no idea what they're talking about most of the time.
The weather is so fickle. It literally could be a downpour. Everybody closes up, packs up, and then it's beautiful. And you're like, oh, great, the band stopped. Bummer.
So please, everyone, show up for the concert. It's for a good cause. We're raising money for the city of Stewart, Rock and Riverwalk, because you know what? There's nothing truly free in life. Someone has to pay for the entertainment, the sound equipment.
That's right.
I believe, Ron, are they looking for sponsors going forward in the years to come as well?
Well, with respect to sponsorships in Rock and Riverwalk, it's one of the premier events in downtown Stewart.
Okay.
You would think that I would have a ton of people just knocking at my door wanting to give me money, but the fact is that due, I suppose, to mostly COVID, we've lost a substantial amount of sponsorship dollars in the last couple of years.
Right.
Which is one of the, I guess, the primary reason that we're doing the event on Friday night. The event, by the way, is called Riverwalk by Night. And that is an event that I personally put together and did as entrepreneurially a few years back before COVID. We had several Friday night, actually they were on Thursday night, by the way, concerts on the Riverwalk stage. Because in my opinion, that stage is underutilized. Even though we do it every single Sunday, it doesn't get much use other than for the Rock and Riverwalk series. So I forget where I was going with that because I'm getting old. So remind me where I was.
You know what the good news is?
It was the glazed donut. It really set them off.
Seriously, the sugar. It's always sugar. Sugar gets your mind going.
Exactly.
No, the good part about tomorrow night, besides the fantastic music, we are all going to be there.
Yes, absolutely.
Come see us.
Let me go back to sponsorships for a second,
Yes,
because I want to give you some credit. Mr. Denny Artache.
I didn't do it. She didn't tell me she was married.
This is a true statement. Denny is donating his band service tomorrow night because he's an advocate of local music in downtown Stewart.
Yes.
That's really
So I wanted to thank you personally for that, Mr. Artache. Thank you.
Well, Ron, I like working with you, and unfortunately, not everyone is responsible like you and I, who love the arts. I mean, because look, I love performing to people. I really do. It's the other things that I'm going to take a break from because it's just getting too much with my business and everything. But, you know, I love working with Ron. We've never had an issue, and he finds these he books bands from Vero to Stewart to North Palm Beach, and he's really helped put culture and music in this area because it is very important. There's no other area like Stewart when you really think about it. The logistics of all the water, the culture behind it, the old downtown, and the fact that there are so many places that you can watch live good music. There are very few places in Florida that I would gladly argue that is like Stewart. So Ron, I thank you for keeping the culture going, and
it's amazing.
You're going to heaven because you deal with musicians on a daily basis.
It is great.
No comment, Ron? No comment?
I'm going to try to keep a positive attitude.
Well, I am being
That was a real positive comment. That
was.
And you know what? I agree. I swear to you, I am blown away by the talent here. It is one band after the other. Everyone is good. I have yet to go to a place where I'm like, they suck. And really, everyone is a really, really talented. And it's amazing they all.
I would like to say this and just clarify something that Denny said earlier. He said that the musicians were affecting his business. I just want to be clear. The musicians are definitely giving him the business, just not the kind of business he's looking for.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. I'm glad you clarified that. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to have our Paul Meeks, a chartered financial analyst, next on the show here. Stick around.
Maybe Paul wants to know about my dating life.
He might. I don't know. All right, welcome back to the Denny Artache Show. You know, my next guest here, he doesn't like to brag about himself, but let me tell you something, folks. Paul Meeks is about as good as it gets when it comes to money management. He's a chartered financial analyst. He's with Independent Solutions. I'm so happy and glad to be partnered with him. One of the reasons I formed Artache Financial Group is so that I could do things like what the private wealth group does at Independent Solutions, 1031 exchanges, opportunity zones. Now, Paul, you can see him on CNBC most every week, and he's known for running the largest technology fund in the world. But Paul doesn't just do that. He really He really keeps his grip on the market. He has a dividend portfolio. And like me, he's a little bit concerned about some of the things that are going on. I don't want to, and Ron, you should have Paul managing your money. I'm just trying to tell you, no pressure, but I want an answer by the end of the show. Paul, are you there with us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, great to have you as always. So, Paul, wow, since last we spoke, there's some interesting moving parts going on. So, what is your take, A, on the economy? B, on what the market looks like in the next 6 to 12 months, and also what you may think is in favor for investors that might be a little scared of corrections coming forward.
Sure. First of all, appreciate the intro. You should be my agent, and I'll send a cut of the action over.
Hey, done. I'm in. You don't have to tell me twice.
So, as for the economy, I'm still pretty constructive and more constructive about what's happening in the U.S. Vis-a-vis developed international economies or emerging market economies. The thing that worries me the most, and it's worried me for some time, and I still think that the jury is out on it, is inflation. Now, inflation is present. There's no question about that. Nobody argues. Last month, the month of October, the consumer price index, probably the best to gauge for consumer price inflation, was 6.2% up.
Ouch.
That means 6.2% up between October 2020 and October 2021. Wow. And that's about 3x the level pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, if it is structural and not transitory, that's a problem. And that kind of directly answers your question. That would have me worried, probably real worried. But the conventional wisdom is, and what's being promoted by the people in D.C., particularly the Federal Reserve Board, is that, yes, this is caused by a not just U.S., global supply chain clog. And as we get through the pandemic, it's going to become unclogged. Yeah, I hope so, because that's a pretty big deal.
I mean,
and I do think
I'm still not sure what the problem is with the supply chain. Why are so many ships waiting to unload the supplies? What's causing that?
That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me.
It's quite bizarre because you think about it. What happened in the spring of 2020? The pandemic, impacted, at least in the U.S., so swiftly that the U.S. economy, largest in the world, $22 trillion in 2019, contracted by about a third in about a month. And so what happened, it was so swift and it freaked out so many companies that they thought, oh, this is not a spring 2020 thing. This could be a pandemic that lasts a long time. This could be 1918. And so what they did is they shut down operations, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes because, they weren't allowed to go back to work, padlocked buildings. And so when you shut down the machine, it is so hard to restart it. And you would think, okay, Paul, it's a year later. Come on, man. Well, still, it is still difficult, particularly because our supply chain is global. And so it's not, we're opening up a factory in Iowa. We're opening up a factory in Iowa, but it has a supply chain that goes to Vietnam.
Right. Some of these politicians go, oh, well, we have a simple solution. Just buy made in America products. I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. We're just going to flip that switch and change everything.
The world these days is, depending on where you are in the political bent, it's global, if we like it or not. I mean, that ship has sailed. It's a global world. Always will be.
So here's the thing. Look, I believe inflation's not a quick, it's not going to be gone next month. But the other thing is, what is the latest on GDP forecasts? Just about 4 months ago, we all thought GDP could still be at around 6%. How do they feel now on GDP? Because we have the potential of a recession. Well,
I don't think we have a potential of a recession, which means, we go into contraction mode, like the GDP is negative.
Okay.
And specifically negative for at least 2 quarters in a row. That's the definition. But yeah, you're right. Inflation is starting to rear its head, and it's definitely slowed the prospects for growth. And so I still think that will be better than an average year. A kind of advanced, mature economy like America's, you would expect GDP to be about 2 or 3%. It's kind of how it was for eons and eons. But it'll be better than that this year. But yeah, it's being impacted by the stuff that we just mentioned. And also, of course, after the big pop coming out of COVID, we probably should at some point get back to that slower, mature rate. And then you think about, if we go back to that slower, mature rate, can stocks hold these valuations, which are pretty steep right now?
And will monetary policy stay where it is? Will they raise short-term interest rates? Will they try and stifle this inflationary problem that we're having?
Well, I think what happens is, so the Fed has been buying government bonds, and when they buy government bonds, they support our economy by injecting funds into the economy. So we know that they're tapering that program, and so when I say taper, cutting it back, and so they'll finish buying bonds if they continue the taper about a year from now. That program will wind down about a year from now if they stay on the monthly taper.
Okay.
And then at that point, a year from now, is probably the first time that they'll consider raising the Fed funds rate, the benchmark interest rate, a quarter point. Right now it's 0. And so it's coming. They'll be raising rates probably about a year from now, unless the economy weakens further, which I don't think it will. And then we have to worry about it, because you think about all these years since the financial crisis, which goes all the way back to the fall of 2008, we've had essentially 0 rates.
Yes,
and when you have 0 interest rates, the any asset price goes up, whether it be real estate or stocks or bonds. It's great for everybody. And of course, at some point, that hurricane wind at our backs, which has supported us, might become a headwind.
Now, it's interesting. You were bullish on companies like Micron because you said there was a chip shortage, I would say maybe 4 to 5 months ago. Are you still bullish in that sector? Is there a specific sector that you think going forward is a good value opportunity to invest in?
Yeah. Think about there's 11 sectors of the economy, and there are a couple that should do well as rates rise. One would be the financials, because the not investment banks that make money from IPOs, but commercial banks.
Sure.
Because a typical commercial bank will take in some money from a depositor at a low rate, and then they'll turn around and lend it to somebody else at a higher rate auto loan. And so they make money from the spread of rates, low to high. When interest rates go up, you get a steeper yield curve, and those guys can make money hand over fist, because there's a very nice spread between the low borrowing rate and the high lending rate. So banks should do well. I would also say energy should continue to do well, because they are benefiting, with the rocket up in the price of a barrel of oil from this whole COVID madness. And then also various kind of commodity and industrial companies. And then in technology, my sector, it's always based on product stories. And there's always going to be interesting product stories, because they're the innovators. And like last night, for example, America's largest semiconductor company, NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA. It's an expensive stock, but I was just blown away by how good the results they reported last night. So I think there's some opportunities there too.
I think sentiment is like, it can't keep going. But I speak to a guy like you to say, well, Denny, the fundamentals are still there. So why wouldn't it keep going?
The key thing won't be the fundamentals, like company A is doing better than company B, or company A story is better than company B. It'll be this phenomenon about interest rates, right? When interest rates start to rise, then we got to have a different conversation. But so far, it's probably at least a year away.
Oh, geez, it's got so serious.
Well, he's good at what he does. I think a lot of sentiment thinks that we may see some corrections and blips on the radar by the first quarter of next year. I mean, there's a lot of things that they're talking about doing. Who knows what they're going to do with the tax situation, if they're going to change that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Paul, you still think we could see single to low double-digit gains next year unless something major happens, correct?
Yeah, I think I actually do. And I think the next thing to watch, because remember, I don't think rates are going to be increased for at least a year. The next thing, Denny, that's coming down the pike that a lot of Americans don't realize, which I think is a big deal, is the most powerful person, not just in the United States, but in the world in finance, is the chair of the Federal Reserve Board.
Right.
And it's this dude, Jay Powell. And Jay Powell's term expires in February.
Oh, boy.
And he was originally appointed and confirmed by Congress by Trump. Yeah. And so Biden has a very interesting decision to make, and I think he might make it within days. Does he reappoint the Republican Jay Powell for another term at the Fed, or does he go to somebody else? And right now he's contemplating, and I actually would like to see Powell stay because I think he's done a nice job. But if Biden goes another direction, I think the market could get whacked that day. So that could be the next thing to
run, Forrest, run.
Seriously, such a downer. My God.
Yeah. Well, when I say whack, you talk about things that we can't control, that have nothing to do with companies that could impact. Mm-hmm. And when I say whack, the market could have a bad day, and it might actually be a good day to buy. It'd just be a transitory thing.
I mean, look, the fact is, because rates are so low, they can't buy bonds. They have to invest in something. They're not going to go to cash and make no money. That's just not how the world.
Well, you take a look at this year, the S&P 500, is up about 25% year to date. It'll be another great year,
right?
Mm-hmm. And the average bond in 2021 has a negative number. So, man, you lost money in bonds and you made under 20% in stocks, and usually a good year in stocks is only 10%.
Again, so I think most people say, how can it continue? But if the fundamentals remain, look, I think the other thing, too, that I learned from you, the other part that can really hurt us is wage inflation. When that business owner has to pay little Billy $15 an hour to flip a burger and make ends meet. And the other thing is, a lot of people have not fully come back to work.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible to get service anywhere.
I don't know. And who knows? I know that Fauci is praying. Talking about a possible surge in COVID in the winter months.
Oh, no.
And that could really stir up investor sentiment. But you know what? For people with a longer horizon, I don't think we cater to traders. We don't. But people that have a 3, 5, 10-year window to investing, I wouldn't push the panic button. Like Paul said, if we do have a correction, that's probably a good opportunity to buy some of these companies cheaper for the next 3, 5, 7 years.
Yeah, because I think that if we have a correction, it won't be long lasting, and it actually won't be on a percentage basis too steep. And Denny, one of the things I am seeing is I've been kind of poo-pooing international stocks for some time.
Yeah.
But not emerging market stocks, but other international developed nations.
Okay.
Markets that are democratic and capitalistic like ours. There's some opportunities there. So there'll be some continued opportunity in U.S. equities, but also I think the equities of some of these major European countries as well.
Very cool. Always a pleasure. Paul Meeks, he loves good rock and roll music. Last time I got together, I sang AC/DC to him because
nice.
Oh yeah, love it.
I'm thinking like, well, what kind of music does Paul? No, he loves rock and roll.
That's good.
Well, I'm a Jersey guy, so in my eyes, Bruce Springsteen is about as big as it gets.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, Paul, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm looking forward to doing more work together. And we're going to take another break and come back on the Denny Artache Show. Thank you. All right, you're back on the Denny Artache Show. I think we have Guy on here, which Marla's trying to guess that this is the guy who wanted to go to the Republican thing that I performed with and was with Newt Gingrich. Guy, is that you?
Yes, that's me.
There's only one guy. There's only one guy.
This guy.
Good morning, Guy.
Good morning to all. Is Paul still there?
Paul? No.
No, Paul's not. Paul left. Paul left the building.
He's actually teaching. He's a professor at one of the universities in Maryland, I believe. I'm not sure. Did you have a question for Paul?
Wonderful guest. Paul, but I must first speak about Marla and how wonderful she is as your partner in crime there on the radio. She's just a hoot and a completely pleasure to listen to. I've been listening now for 3 weeks, I think.
Is that
thank
right?
you
I
so
tune
much,
in.
Guy.
I can't wait. It's just a riot. It's fantastic. Denny, I want to just thank you for your continued support of local live music, especially the act of giving your own time Friday night. I'm sorry I missed the trio Saturday. You know, I'm into Sinatra and the likes of that type of music as well. Pretty versed in different music things. But Paul, I really was very interested in the things that he said. I think the guy is spot on. Many different things. Powell. He didn't mention anything about quantitative easing, but your dialogue between you and him was excellent. I really enjoyed him as a guest. And if Ron is still there,
He is.
Ron is
tell
still
Ron,
here.
are you there, Ron?
I'm right here.
Okay, brother. I saw you Sunday. Do you remember the John Lennon shirt?
Yes,
You were
I
wearing-
do.
And
Sure.
the Santana hat.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm getting that hat to match my blazer. That was just awesome.
Ron
stuff
has
you
an
got there.
amazing store. People don't know how cool Earth Tones is. The clothing there. I mean, are you going to take the credit for all the cool stuff you have in there, Ron? Or
Of course I am.
Wait a minute. Wait, where's the store? Downtown?
Right in the middle of
there,
downtown,
Yes, it's unbelievable.
That's not like the funky hippie one.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that's-
funky.
no,
it is
one,
the funky hippie
That's
one.
Ron's store.
Wait a minute. Okay, first of all, I love that store.
Thank you.
Yes.
There was a T-shirt that I wanted,
Okay.
and I can't remember what it said. It was like,
It was probably depraved on some level.
yeah, like it was something. I believe there were like the F-bomb was loud and clear on
Sure.
there,
Really?
and it was like maybe like happy effing morning or something. And I wanted
It
it
was
so.
rise and effing shine.
Yes, rise and effing shine.
nice.
I wanted it so badly, but like it was too big, and I wanted it to be tight.
There's more coming in next week.
Wait,
Well,
wait.
I
I
want
have
a baby
delivery on
tee.
Tuesday.
Oh my god. Okay,
Wait a
I
minute.
need a
it
like
was
extra
too
extra
big,
small.
and you wanted it to be tight.
Yeah,
Is
because
that
it
what
was like
you
it was a
said?
small, but it was like it fit me like it was a large. So I was looking for like an extra small, and they didn't have. But it was so cute.
You were trying the guys on, I think. 'cause
It was the women's section. I know you have it for guys too, but it was the women's. It just wasn't small enough. But I really want it. So
I
if
have
we could
some cool hats from that shop.
the
I'm
store is
telling you,
awesome.
Ron.
Thank you, guys.
We got to
Yeah,
promote
Ron,
it.
you're the heartbeat of Stewart. Not only
Appreciate that.
musically, but your store is awesome.
Thanks, Guy.
I really
Ron's a
enjoy
pretty
going in
creative
there, and,
guy.
and
He really is.
certainly Stewart is the mother lode as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just fantastic what you're doing. And you know, in the last couple of years with the fundraising and the things with the music, you know, it's going to turn around, and we're going to get it together. And every Thursday night when you had it years ago, it was fantastic. I mean, I can't support that enough.
So why'd you
just
stop
wonderful.
the Thursday nights, Ron? if
And
they were-
Denny, thank you again for
Guy,
Friday.
my pleasure, man. And
know?
Guy, you're great. This is great. Great. He's like who?
It's a
I
great-
want to know
it's
who
a great
paid Guy
guest.
this morning to call in.
Nobody paid
Like,
Guy.
who paid
Guy
him?
was unvolition. But
Guy, did
you
you
know, I
see-
don't want to take up valuable time in this show because I do want to hear about what Marla has to been in her dating life.
we're gonna get to that. Guy, did I
So-
did I
So
send you
with
the
that,
picture?
with that in mind, I think I'll go. Just listen. But Denny, thank you again for all you do.
Hey,
And,
come down
and
tomorrow.
Good luck with the new business.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Come down tomorrow. Hope to see you. I think I sent you the picture of me and Newt. Did I not, Guy? Or
You did,
All
and
right.
you rocked it. It was awesome, really
All right.
great. I'm just
Great
so sorry I
photo.
missed it. I would have loved to have gone
Next
there.
time
but
we-
there'll be other times.
yes, there
you know?
will. We do something every month. Thanks so
Good.
much for calling in, Guy, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay.
Absolutely, I'll be there.
All
And
right.
thanks to all of you, and Ron and Marla. And where's the other guy today? Where's Charlie? He's not in.
I don't know. Charlie hasn't called in. I was going to call
Thanks,
him.
guys. Have a
Take-
great
take
day.
care.
Bye,
Guy.
Guy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So yes, when Guy texted me, he was like, he's one of the beautiful people in your life. And so now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Ron Hart is going to question you about your dating life. Go ahead, Ron. The floor recognizes you. So what do you want to know?
Well, I want to know about her border policy. Does that mean she has two? She can have a boyfriend in California and a boyfriend in Florida?
That's a good question.
Okay, that is a great question.
And your answer is?
No, I don't. First of all, if it's a boyfriend, all right, let's listen. Let's first
or
of all,
girlfriend, by the way. Don't be shy.
Okay.
Hey, that's a question.
Are we talking about your fantasies or are we talking about my dating life? What's the okay?
Both right now,
okay,
apparently.
Right. There you go. No, here's the thing. I think that if you're committed to somebody, then it doesn't matter how far away you are. You do not cheat on them and throw another person into the mix.
True.
Now, if you are just meeting people as you're traveling around and you're loosely dating, that's a totally different story. You could have a date in Nebraska. You could have a date in Arizona. You could have a date in Florida, in California, wherever that is. But the minute that you actually have a connection with somebody and you think that it isn't, like you can't duplicate it and it just feels amazing, then why would you mess that up and bring somebody else into the mix? I like to focus if I can. And normally I can't, but I like to focus if and when I can on one person, if they are the person. People ask me all the time, why are you single? What are you looking for? What is that? And I have the same answer every time. I'm looking for the man that makes me not want to meet another man.
When they ask you, right, if you're single, ask them, well, are you single? Because here's the other thing. It's like Dr. Phil has a book on dieting, and he's a big, fat Kentucky Fried Chicken eating. People who want to put their opinion on relationships typically do not have good relationships.
Right.
And I agree with you. You know what? It's hard enough to get along with one person. You want to date 5, 6, 7 and juggle different personalities?
It's hard.
No, thank you.
Well, not only that, it's not only that. The bigger problem is if you are with one person, you bring somebody else in, it is now distracting you from that one person.
Oh my goodness.
So suddenly you're getting pulled away and your emotions get split in half. And why do you want to give half of something? You know what I mean? Like,
wait, that sounds like marriage. That sounds like marriage. Half. Wait, half. You're no longer married, right, Ron?
I am not.
But you might as well be, because I knew you and your lady are still together.
Yes.
And you're actually happier now that you're not married,
It's
right?
true, yes.
Oh, but you're still together after divorce?
Yes.
Nice. That's very nice.
See, I'm
Good
telling you, he's a catch. We have someone on the line. Maybe it's someone who wants to date you. I don't know. You're on Denny Artache Show. Who's on the line?
Hi, Uncle Danny and Cousin Evan.
It's little Tommy.
Who?
Tommy.
Little Tommy.
Who's little Tommy?
Well, little Tommy, I bet you'd like Marla to be your mom, wouldn't you? She's pretty cool.
She sounds like a nice mom.
Hi, little Tommy.
Probably.
Yeah, she rocks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But Tommy, where have you been? You've been in timeout all this time?
I had to sleep at my dad's new house.
Your dad got out of prison?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, congratulations.
He's got a big dog, and we both share the same bedroom, and I don't like that.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
So you're no longer living with your mom who drinks the pickle juice and grandmama who stays passed out?
They told me that Mommy went away for 6 weeks. She's going to be a cowboy in Montana or something.
Listen, I know Cousin Evan has missed you because he hasn't heard your voice in a while. He was worried about you.
I miss him too.
Yeah.
Well, gee, I feel the love.
You sure you don't want him to move in with you, Evan?
He'd have to get by my canine first.
I don't like the dogs. There's a dog here now, and he tries to dance with my leg in the dark. I can't see him.
I'm surprised you didn't move in with your uncle in Jersey. The guy who brings a baseball bat to work every day. You
Uncle Tony.
Yeah, you could.
He works for the garbage trucks.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Mm-hmm.
So you're living with your dad. Wow, what? It's been so long. What do you two talk about?
I don't see him that much.
Oh.
No.
Does
he comes and goes, but he can only go in the yard because he has a bracelet on his ankle.
Ah.
That's modern day jewelry, Tommy.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's good.
There's a little light on it.
Oh, wow. You haven't called in so long. I was wondering about you.
I couldn't get to a phone. Now I can use his phone when he's out in the yard having some drink.
What does he drink?
I don't know. Probably beer.
I think Tommy's a future senator. I think that he's going to go all the way.
He sounds like an amazing public speaker.
He is.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for Marla, your newfound friend, Tommy?
What? How can you get a dog to stop grabbing your leg? He grabs my leg and I can't find him because it's dark in the bedroom.
That is an amazing question, Tommy.
Mhm.
And I would say that dogs are always going to do what they want to do. That is just a natural thing. Dogs love to grab the legs.
You mean men, right? Not dogs?
I mean, same thing. No.
Not true. Dogs are loyal. You can train a dog.
That's true. Listen, you know what? We don't want to throw every man under the bus, right? I mean, listen, I've been through the ringer. I have been cheated on. I have been like, oh my God, run over like a Mack truck. But there are also some really nice men. So we don't want to say that every man is not loyal or untrainable. Same with women, you know, goes both ways.
Make sure you take lessons, Tommy, because when you grow up,
I was training him in the dark. I was trying to give him a cookie.
You know what? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you should start training him in the light. Because in the dark,
There's no light in the house
at all, not even during the day.
they probably
well,
keep him in the
daytime,
basement.
but at night is when he does that.
Mm.
That son of a gun.
Can I just tell
I
you
tried to
something
give him
funny?
a cookie. I
Yeah.
tried to give him a cookie so I could find where his head was, so I could kick him in his butt.
No, you don't want to kick him in the butt. You have to be nice to the doggy. Be nice to the doggy will be nice to you.
All right.
Can I tell you something really funny?
Mhm.
So we're sitting here and we were just talking about, you know, how not all men are terrible men. I just got a text from a nice man asking,
Okay.
am I a nice man? So he's clearly listening to the show.
Is that right?
Yes. And yes, he is a
Wow.
nice man. He's a
Is
very
he?
nice man.
Is he
Yes.
good looking?
He's very good looking.
Wow, watch out.
He's a
It
good
could
looking
be.
man.
Have
He's
you
a good
gone
looking nice man.
Have you gone on a date with him yet?
It's funny that you say that. I met him out one night.
Okay.
And he was visiting Florida. And then he left at like the crack of dawn the next morning.
He had to go back to his wife.
He had to go back. Kind of true story. No, he's not really. He's not married. Well, he's going through a divorce. But
oh, wait.
he's
not
going,
married. He's going
He's
through
going
a
through a
divorce.
divorce.
Yeah.
But he did have to go back home to his daughter, not his wife. He did have to go back home to his daughter. But he's a very nice man. But we are planning a lovely
Marla.
first date.
Hey, Marla.
Yes.
When you say daughter, did you make the quote signs?
I did not make the air quote signs, Tommy.
Okay.
No, he really is nice. Like, this is like listen, I'm trying to like give a props to like nice men out there. They exist. And I didn't know necessarily they did, but this man is a really, really nice man, caring, like big heart, so thoughtful, really does the right thing.
You are late. He's listening. You're laying it on. He's thinking, I got this girl. Yeah.
I don't think he thinks that yet.
I got this one.
Well, I don't think he thinks he got me yet. Nobody can ever claim to get me because I'm like pretty tough. Like I'm not really. I'm not one to get. Like I can't. I just don't.
You're not a prize to. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Tommy, before I let you go, I'm glad you called. I'm glad that you're no longer in timeout. Is there anything else you want to say before I let you go?
I miss you guys.
We miss you too.
And I want to hear you play guitar again.
Well, you know, there's only a couple of more shows left, so we're gonna tell your dad to come down tomorrow to Rock and Riverwalk, and you can hear me play. All right.
All right.
All right, little Tommy, ladies
Bye,
and gentlemen.
Tommy.
Always
Bye,
great.
everyone. Goodbye, Marla and Cousin Evan and Ron. Goodbye.
Bye, little
Jenny.
Tommy.
Ron could be part of the family too, you know. Tommy's something else. He first called because he was he thought he called Denny's and he was ordering a Grand Slam breakfast. So, you know, youth.
Can I tell you, I'm cracking up because my phone is just blowing up with everybody, like all these guys. Am I a nice man? Am I a nice man?
So they're
It's like,
listening?
there's different. It's like, it's so
Man.
funny.
Come on, women don't like totally nice men. They like the bad boy.
Okay.
That's what works for Ron. See, you look at Ron, he's like, yeah, he's nice, but I don't know. He looks like, ooh.
But you know what's really weird
He's
about
got
that?
rugged, rough look about him.
People do go, listen, people go for the nice man, people go for the bad boy. The problem with the bad boy is
What?
you go for the bad boy, but they're bad. So you ultimately go for them so you could complain about them to your girlfriends, right? Because they're like, oh, this guy did this, he did blah, blah, blah.
You mean like
It's
the person who grabs a snake and they gets bit by the snake and you're like, my God, how could you bite me? I treated you so because I'm a snake. That's
Right.
what I do.
Right. I mean, if there's you certainly gravitate towards certain things and you know
They think they
expect
can
them.
change the bad boy.
That's the problem. You
Forget
cannot change.
it.
There is no changing anyone.
I
You
don't
can't
want to change anybody. I want
No.
them to come to me as they are,
That's
and
right.
that's it.
That's
And-
right.
And well, I don't have to worry about the dating life. I have a lady, and we just sit back and smile a lot of these things, and it's tough. I don't, sometimes it takes being single to realize what you do have, or I don't know. But you date several people, because you like dating, because you
I
want
do love dating.
You know, you like to go out and do different things.
I
And
like
have
to date, and I
conversations.
love meeting new people.
Okay.
It's hard. Like it's hard for me to commit into a relationship unless I think it really can last. Like if I think it's an amazing thing. Like there's tons of nice men out there. There's tons of nice women out there. Like people can get together if they want to get together.
Sure.
But like to really stay in a relationship, it has to be something really special for me because I don't want to just settle, and I don't want to just, be like, it'll pass time for a couple years. I don't want that.
The problem is it's portrayed in Hollywood like it's so easy and natural, and it's no work.
No,
which is the biggest crock of you know what.
That's right.
I don't even like myself half the time. So getting someone else to like me half the time, it's tough. We all have our quirks, but I think ultimately, if we don't think we're the end all be all to everything, then we'll have the grace to know that, hey, there's two people involved in a relationship. It's not just about ourselves and
That's right.
what we want out of the deal.
Yeah.
There's the respect thing. There's the having fun. And I don't know, maybe I should write a book on the subject because there's so many books out there that after the first 5 pages, I'm like, yeah, this person is clueless. A lot of these couples that are together for many, many years, they've worked through things. Not everything. That's how life is. Not everything is always going great at any given time. There's bills to pay. There's people you have to deal with.
But the most important thing, honestly, for me, and I say this all the time, and I think that you need good communication.
Yes.
Communication and trust. It kind of goes hand in hand. And if you can find that with someone, which is kind of difficult, sometimes it's like pulling teeth trying to talk to people, or sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'll just, people holding their feelings. They don't say anything. And then it starts bubbling up. And 2 weeks later, they'll get pissed because, you dropped the banana. And then it goes back to something you did 2 weeks ago. But if you can communicate and be open and free and talk about everything, to me, that's what I want. I want that type of connection with someone where it's like you could just talk about anything and it's so easy. And if you can do that and you can find that, for me.
So, Ron, does that answer your question about our dating life? I mean,
not really. I'm really, I didn't really answer it.
I've been taking notes, by the way.
You have, really? What are your main takeaways with Marla's dating life here?
Well, I think that right now she has an open border policy.
Wow, she doesn't vet people, that she just lets them come over?
No, I don't think so.
I'm a
there's
vetter.
a vetting process.
Yeah, I'm a vetter.
You do vet, right?
I vet.
All right.
Yeah, I vet.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't go on a date with somebody unless I've either, spoken to them on the phone or FaceTimed them, or we've had a lot of back and forth. I want to, and or met them in person.
So all these dates you go on, you've talked to them a few times on the phone?
Most, I would say most,
right.
93%, 93%. A few of them, it was like we were texting back and forth a lot, and I was like, all right, fine. How bad can this be? But I try not to make that mistake anymore. Because sometimes it doesn't work in my favor. And
How
I'm
bad could this be? Well, just turn on the TV. There's plenty of ideas.
Yes.
And so, we haven't talked about LA because in my mind, LA is truly la la land these days.
Yeah.
With the homeless that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
With their politics, the sanctuary cities, the economy that's going on. They're a hot mess in California.
It's pretty messy. I was just there.
Right.
It was a messy weekend
for me. Did you see anything? You said that they're still under COVID restrictions. So the normal stores that were open late at night were closed down?
Okay, for sure. So I live in Studio City when I'm in California. And I had the pleasure of getting home at a little after midnight on Friday night, flying from Florida. And all of my keyless entries were the batteries died. So I could not get into my house. And this did not help that every single store in Studio City was closed. There was no 24-hour CVS. There was no 24-hour grocery store. There was no 24-hour Walgreens. And it was literally thank God for a girlfriend of mine, Amanda, who lives in Burbank, came and got me. And we were driving around everywhere. God. Oh my God, finally made it to Burbank. They were open. We were able to get some screwdrivers. We had to go to 7-Eleven to get a battery. I mean, it was a mess. I was in bed by 4:00 in the morning. But the point is, yes, because of the pandemic, Studio City still has not fully reopened. And when you go out to dinner or to a bar, you have to show your vaccination card or you can't go in.
Yeah, that's draconian. We do have a caller. I think we have about 3.5 minutes left. You're on the Denny Artache Show. Who's on the line?
My name is Mark.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Pretty good. I just want to call in and give a commentary on Marla. I think she should be the spokesperson for all women that want to go date.
Well,
being
you know
a
what?
guy in the dating field and met a few people,
and
she is hands down. I don't know. She should be the president when it comes to dating for women.
So if we, her and I are going to do a podcast soon. So when we do, we'll probably post it live on Facebook. Are you friends with her on Facebook?
Nah, I don't communicate too much social media. I'm kind of face-to-face, hand-on deal.
Oh, there you go, Marla.
Mark, you're very sweet.
A potential date right here.
Oh, you think?
Oh, and that contagious laugh, she'll get you going.
Exactly. Yeah, but how's he going to, he's not a friend with you on Facebook. How's he going to
I bet that
do the
he
interview?
could track me down. I think Mark knows how to track me down.
Mark, why don't you stalk Marla down and you know, go through the interview process?
Okay, I think it'd be challenging and eventful.
It'll be fun, absolutely. Well, thanks for calling in and thanks for the kind words, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
So
you guys have a good day.
You too.
So we have about 2 minutes left, folks. Don't forget a couple of things. We didn't speak about the many different things I'm doing with my company on the finance side, but musically speaking, tomorrow's going to be a great show planned for the city of Stewart, the Rock and Riverwalk. I think the first act is a Johnny Cash impersonator, right, Ron? That's
Bill Forness does
Awesome.
an amazing job of
Okay.
looking like and sounding like Johnny Cash.
And so we're going to be second up, and then you have, I love the name.
My favorite band of all time, and I mean that sincerely.
You really do. You
Yes.
love these guys.
Love these guys.
Strung like a horse. That's the
Strung
name.
like a horse.
Oh, I
So-
like the name.
So my friend said, why don't you say, hi, folks, this is Hung Like a Horse playing for you. And after me is Strung Like a Horse. What is it that makes them like so uniquely different?
Well, I guess their genre
Yeah.
is gypsy punk garage grass. So just let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
I can't even like put that
Well,
together
you
in my
know
head.
gypsies.
I think if you took a
You
couple
know,
of puffs, you could
gypsy
imagine it.
punk garage grass.
Gypsy
Punk
Garage
Grass.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm sensing a business opportunity. I know I've been pretty quiet back here.
Yeah.
I wanted to remind everybody out there that I am a talent agent these days.
Yes.
I think Marla has some talent, so I'm going to propose to her a business deal after the show here.
Wow.
Well, there you
okay.
go.
I will vet all of her suitors. Of course, I take a moderate fee. It's not a big deal. So just call me, guys,
So
and
you're-
I'll try to hook you guys
So
up.
Ron is volunteering to pimp out Marla, ladies and
it.
gentlemen.
That's so lovely.
That's what talent
I,
agents
It
do.
is.
I really love all the offers I've been getting. since
You've
living
got a
in
lot
Stewart.
of, I tell you, I'm just going to sit aside and watch it all develop and happen, okay? Well, anyway, folks, always great. And
So
Thanksgiving
fun.
next week. I hope
Oh,
you
are
have
we
a
doing the
great
show?
week. I was planning to do the show. Things could change. But
Okay.
come down tomorrow at the Rock and Riverwalk in Stewart and enjoy some great live music.
Yes.
There's no
5
charge.
till 10 p.m.
5 to 10 p.m.,
I
folks.
can't wait to dance. I'm gonna dance.
Marla's going to dance, guys. So there you go. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
The preceding was a paid program. The content is provided by the advertiser. WSTU, its staff, management, and owners are not responsible for the content. Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Blackridge Asset Management is a separate and independent entity from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Member, FINRA, SIPC.